What are the 4 essential processes for a healthy physical body? If you don't know, that's okay. That's probably why you clicked on this video, and it's why I'm making this video. Sorry about the sun. There's not a lot I can do. I'm either walking away from it or walking towards it, so we'll get a bit of both. But I digress. This knowledge isn't taught in schools or even in tertiary education for a reason. It's because it actually gets results, and you can actually heal and reverse what ails you. And it's also much simpler than it's made out to look or seem. You don't need to go to university to learn this and to be healthy and to have all the vitality you could ever dream of. So let's talk about it. Digestion, absorption, utilization, and elimination. That's all there is. If your body can do those 4 things efficiently, you'll never have a health problem. So let's start at the beginning. Although it is a cyclical thing, the beginning could be at the end. Let's just start with digestion, because that's where all the problems start. When we put chemistry in our mouth, and that's what it is. Everything we put in our mouth, on our skin, what we think, what we listen to, is all just chemistry. And that's a critical thing that you need to get inside your head. But more than that, you need to truly embody it and know it. To know something is to act it out and actually go through it. It's no use just memorizing something for the sake of a test or exam. We're talking about real health. So you want to take action and learn this stuff for yourself. That's what knowing is for me. So you need to know about this chemistry so you can actually take responsibility for your health and what you're eating. Because that is where all the problems start. After that, we have absorption. Regardless of what you eat, your body has to do its best to absorb that material and utilize it for the number of essential processes that the body needs to function properly. How is it metabolizing sugars, fats, proteins? It all needs much simpler chemistry than we've been taught. The body can't use proteins. It can't use complex sugars. It needs a little bit of fat, but nowhere near the amount that we're told. Fat itself doesn't have any real nutritional value. It's more just fuel for the chemical system, the chemical factory that is the liver. The liver isn't a detoxification organ, as we're led to believe. That's what the kidneys and spleen and various other organs like that are for. The liver is a chemical factory, along with its sidekick, the gallbladder and the pancreas, that hydrolyze and oxidize lipids. And we use these lipids to buffer the acids in our system. That's where we get cholesterol. If you have high cholesterol content, that means you're highly acidic. And your body is using the lipids / cholesterol to protect the vascular walls from acidic damage. Acids burn, acids are corrosive. You open any good chemistry book, that should be one of the first things you read in the definitions section. This is primary school level chemistry, and it's all you really need to know. Sure, you can dive deeper into a bit of A&P, anatomy and physiology, but from a high level perspective, if you go into that, you're using more of the mind, which is definitely an important part, and it is a big part of what makes us human. But again, you need to go back to more of the knowing, back into your heart, using your other bodies, the astral, the emotional, the causal, not just this mental. There's so many more bodies that we have that we've just been cocooned from. It's all part of the journey. I didn't know any of this or even believe any of this not that long ago, so just a tip, I would say never put anyone down for what they think currently. We're all guilty of being wrong. Can you change your mind based on new evidence? Anyway, let's get back on track here a bit. So we're talking about absorption. Let's say, for argument's sake, you're eating what we as humans are designed to eat. Fruits, some soft leafy greens. Your body's going to absorb that correctly in an ideal world in your small intestine, if unobstructed with mucoid plaque and other things. It's going to make its way into your bloodstream, into the kitchen system of the body, the nutrition side, the side that energizes the cells. Our endocrine gland system is then what's responsible for utilizing said nutrition. It's kind of like a master and slave cylinder for those of you other mechanics out there, or any other master and slave system, if I can get my words out. The endocrine glands are the masters and the organs are the slaves. Everything just does what it's told. If the master doesn't know what's going on, then the slave's going to have no hope. In another sense, if the master is misguided, then it's going to misdirect the organs. And at the end of the day, every cell we have is just a cell. It only performs its requisite function based on what the endocrine glands and our DNA tell it to do. When these things misfunction, that's when we get our hypo or hyper functions. Hypothyroidism. Hypo is slow. Hyper, it's overworking. It's being stimulated by the acids. It's working too much. It's where you get extremely tall people or very short people. That's more to do with pituitary. Pituitary is also really important for female reproductive health. So if you're really short as a female, chances are you've got reproductive system problems. Same thing with the male. Most guys, especially in my culture as a Caucasian, there's a lot of tall guys now, over 6 foot and above. Sure, it's great for sport and it may be attractive to some of you ladies out there, but it does come with its own set of problems. More than just buying clothes that fit or a bed that you can sleep in. And then after all of that, the cells, just like you and me, need to eliminate their wastes. This is where things can get really pear-shaped. There's a little known system known as the lymphatic system. And this is probably the most misunderstood and slept on system of the human body. Whether the educators in these high places are truly ignorant to this or they are deliberately suppressing this knowledge, I don't know. I can't prove. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. At this channel, I'm all about getting you to understand that you need to be responsible for your own education, your own health, and your own body. So here I am, giving you my thoughts. Go away and verify it and know it. So what do you think would happen if the septic tank under your house or at the end of the street got blocked and you kept eating and using the kitchen, kept going to the toilet over and over without fixing the problem? How long would it take before signs and symptoms started to show that maybe something wasn't right? Things aren't eliminating properly. Sorry about this wind. Hopefully it's not too bad. I'll try and bring the camera a bit closer. Probably wouldn't be too long before you start to smell something's off, maybe see some signs, things you should probably pay attention to. But nevertheless, for argument's sake, let's say you put it off. Eventually, that sewage is going to burst out of the toilet all over the floor, all through the house. Then you've really got a problem. This is your stage 4 cancers, tumors, growths, all sorts of really serious chronic diseases. The medical community is of the belief that the kitchen and bathroom are one and the same system, that the body dumps its acid wastes back into the blood. From what I've just told you, at a very simple level, does that seem viable in any sense? Doesn't make any sense at all to me. The blood has to be alkaline, otherwise we'd all be dead in about 3 minutes. 7.36 on the pH scale, 7.4 if you want to keep it simple. The lymphatic system is the acid system. There's always a duality in creation. Blood is the nourishing, feeding, alkaline side. The lymph deals with the waste. It's the dump truck. The waste truck, it comes and pumps out the sewage so the cells can breathe. There has to be a flow. For traffic to move well, the on and off ramps have to be moving at a similar speed. Cars have to be getting off at the same rate they're coming onto the highway, otherwise things just stop. It's the same with the body. This is where we get tripped up. This is where all our problems start. And it's just purely down to a level of ignorance that's been perpetuated for decades at this point, for various reasons. But anyway, let's quickly recap. Digestion, absorption, utilization, elimination. The whole aim of the game in health is to optimize those 4 processes. Learn how the chemistry that you eat affects those processes and what you need to do personally to correct them. We can use herbs in the form of tinctures or capsules to help wake up this endocrine gland system that we talked about in step 3, utilization. Think of them as kind of like a defibrillator for your endocrine gland system. If things aren't working properly, like your adrenal glands, which sit on top of your kidneys, which are the filters of your lymphatic system, they don't filter the blood. That's why dialysis doesn't work. That's why no one that goes into a hospital for these processes comes out healthy. That's where the regeneration comes from. Understanding the lymphatic system, where you can reverse these issues like they're nothing at all. So fix your adrenals, fix your pineal gland if you have trouble sleeping, fix your pituitary, parathyroids if you have connective tissue issues or calcium utilization issues. Calcium buffering system is another way that the body saves itself from acidosis. So we see calcium deposits in the joints, elbows, knees, hands even. You see those calcifications because the body will pull calcium out of its own bones, out of its own structure to protect itself from acidosis. It will go to extreme lengths just to try and keep things in balance. And it's all our fault. Whether you like it or not, you can't avoid chemistry, you can't avoid truth. All potential resistance just comes from conditioned thinking and emotional imbalances, let's say. I'm definitely not perfect. I'm just telling you how it is, and this is what I've experienced. As I said, it's a journey that you really need to start walking now, because it's going to take a while. But the good news is, it doesn't take anywhere near as long to correct these problems as it did to create them, to create these states of dis-ease. So figure out the right type of chemistry for our species, which is fruit, some vegetables. Absorb that nutrition, remove the obstructions in your digestive system so that nutrition can get to your cells. A lot of really skinny people, one, they're just not eating enough, but they also have massive amounts of malabsorption due to various reasons. Impacted mucoid plaque, sulfur buildup from fermentation of sugars, complex sugars like starches. These are actually acidic when broken down, and it's really hard for the adrenals to metabolize these things. Understanding and taking action on this knowledge of chemistry will make or break your health. If you need help with this, there's a link below this video that'll take you to a web page where you can book a consultation call with me. You can tell me about what you're dealing with. We'll have a bit of a chat, see if there's a connection and if there's a possibility that we can work together to walk you down a path to wellness. Thanks for watching. See you all next time.